here to be your weekly intake of North American Developmental League of Legends. Congratulations to our grand finals champions, FlyQuest challengers, who took home the crown 3-0 in our live finals of the NACL this Monday. But the action does not stop here as the promotion tournament has already gotten underway. We are recording an emergency episode right now to make sure we have this tournament covered because we just go day by day by day immediately down the line. Day 2 of the promotion tournament will be starting the day you see this episode. We've already had some interesting matchups start to go that way. We're going to be recapping the finals, previewing the tournament, and a little bit of fun in between. My name is Grapes. I'm joined alongside Hawk for episode 46. Hawk, you look a little different from the last time we saw each other.
I look different? Wait, what did
I
I?
mean, you had glasses on. You're in a different room. Like, you kind of look like
Oh,
Shochi over
right.
on
Yeah,
Supernova.
of course. Yeah, you look different too, bro. You have glasses on now. I don't think you were wearing. Now I'm trying to think. Actually, did
Did
does your other
I?
son?
Hold on, let me. Oh, nope, I
Yeah.
wasn't. I wasn't.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. You don't. You have glasses. We switched to glasses. Yeah, dude. I know that was a fever dream of an episode, if I'm being honest. But I hope that people enjoyed that one regardless.
Yeah. Okay. Jokes out of the way. Big thank you to Aaron and Shochi
Yeah. Shout out.
for helping us out and on our April 1st April Fool's episode. They were so damn funny, man.
Dude,
I
they were so good.
I was like, what you don't hear in the recording is me like off camera and off screen just like laughing like a ton. That's maybe the most I've laughed like recording one of these episodes. And we've we're pretty funny guys too. So it's just
Hey,
shout out to
yeah,
them. They
yeah.
they did a great job.
No, they really did. So shout out Aaron and Shochi for coming on the show. Grape, shout out to you for handling production for that one. Normally I press all the buttons
I
here, but
know. I had to like write all the questions, and I got to be Hawk for a day too, and so that was fun. It's just everyone's just taking
yeah,
everyone's
yeah, yeah.
spot.
Also shout out to Grapes
Yeah,
because we're currently recording at like 3 a.m. Eastern because it's been a busy, as it seems to always be, a busy weekend.
hey,
So
man, it's what
you're a
we gotta do.
trooper.
We gotta
Yeah.
just keep the content rolling here, and NACL finals was Monday. Promotion tournament literally started yesterday, so just we got to get an episode out, make sure we have the people covered for promotion, and we have our week out of the way. Speaking of content continuing to be rolling, make sure to check out CLOL Central this Saturday. We have a very, very close matchup between St. Louis University, featuring Aaron actually, who was on our show a couple of days ago, and Northwood, who is
Mhm.
another very, very strong North Conference team. They are in the semifinals. Hawk, this was a semifinal matchup that we saw just last year, and that was also a pretty interesting one. So two very, very talented teams, both with a very good chance of potentially making it to that CLO land in the top 8 later in this split. And it all starts with a semifinal win here. A win will lock their spot in the tournament, and after that, um, you know, we're expecting to make it there, but still, a pretty close game.
Oh yeah. It should be a good one. I mean, especially Slough Northwood. I think last year was a 3-1. I think both of them, it's fair to say, have made some upgrades coming into the year as well. So make sure to check it out. But Grapes, I mean, we got a lot of promotion to talk about. Should we just dive in or?
Well, before we do that,
Oh,
start off our headlines. We got to talk about the NACL finals because that is
yeah, of
another big
course.
story that just happened here. Again, FlyQuest challengers 3-0 over Maryville. Everyone kind of thought Maryville, their lower bracket run, they had a little magic going. They had the reverse sweep and they swept TL, but then things just kind of fell short when they reached the LCS stage. My question to you, Hawk, to start things off, was this just FlyQuest being really good, taking that extra step, or did something happen with Maryville that ended up with them, falling short?
And it's an interesting one because I think it's a little bit of both. I saw this sentiment as well that like Maryville's like lower bracket run magic ran out, right? But guys, let's not forget, okay? Maryville was the second best team pretty definitively throughout the entire split, and they even defeated Supernova in the lower bracket after getting knocked down there. So, like, they had some magic on their side for sure, but like this team, they were a favorite, okay? And based on what happened against FlyQuest in the regular season, I think that was probably the most exciting best of 3 we had in the regular season of the NACL. I can't think of another one in the regular season that was better. So, yeah, we thought this would be really close. I predicted an MU3 too. I think most people predicted 5 games or 4. I don't think anyone really predicted a sweep except for the players themselves, obviously. Um, and so I think the answer to this question is a little bit of both. I do feel like Maryville failed to show up a little bit. I think particularly top side of the map. Spyrax had a bit of a like quieter playoffs, and I think that continued into the finals. I think UG, like, I liked the confidence in game one, and then I think that really quickly unraveled when he flashed in and then died, like, pretty early on in the game, right? Um, and like Niall struggled to contain Surdy. Zyko was, I think, playing fine, but like struggled to get involved. Like, it just, yeah, it didn't feel like Maryville was able to play like Maryville League of Legends, but I think FlyQuest stepped up big time.
Yeah, I think Maryville not looking the way that they did is kind of a testament to how FlyQuest was able to contain that team
Yes.
the way that they played the finals. I mean, Shaden was a monster in that series. I think he very deservedly he like won that Player of the Series award. Um, just all over UG, had him marked like a lot of the early games. Was able to impact a lot of the map. Um, Ended up at the end of the day, Hawk. Jed's prediction that Niles very
Yeah, I
quickly
know.
refuted in our episode last week ended up coming true.
And
There was a little more beef on Twitter as well between him and Surdy,
there
which
was.
of course got proven a little bit towards Surdy at the end as well.
Dude, it's so funny how Niles is like the only way that FlyQuest takes a game off of us is if they like drag Sajed's corpse, right? And Sajed gets a pet to kill in game number one to maybe put that one to bed a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, maybe. I wonder if there's a little all chat after that. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I think overall, FlyQuest just really like looked clean. Like they played 3 games
Yeah,
of very clean League of Legends, and I think
yeah,
for Maryville, they were probably like that second best team. I remember like their only loss was to Disguise, who they ended up beating later on, and Disguise was a team that like was ramping up at that point too. Um, so yeah, maybe a little bit of a
yeah,
choke. I think again like the top side of the map is where you're looking at specifically, but I think it is just Fly being
yeah.
a really solid team.
I would rather give more credit to Fly. I do think they stepped up. I also want to give some credit to their coach, Rocco, as well as like their Shaden again. They had a really good game plan coming in against Maryville that I don't think Maryville actually knew what to do with, which was like, guys, our mid laner is the best mid laner in the league, and Maryville really like relies on Spyrax being able to move around. Let's just have our mid laner out lane Spyrax, keep him in lane the whole game, and then Shaden is just gonna match clear with UG every single second of every single game. So there's never odd numbers anywhere. And holy shit, it actually worked really well. Maryville struggled to like get out of the vortex there. So like shout out like the scouting and like I feel like the game plan for Fly was really good as well. Felt like their teamwork leveled up as well. That was the first time they met each other in person. Was like 2 days before the finals. So yeah, I mean I think FlyQuest like they were the favorites coming in. I don't think they were favored to go 3-0, but they stepped up and managed to do it.
Yeah, congratulations to them. I mean, very cool to see players like Sajed get their first games on stage and get a pentakill. That was a really awesome moment. The broadcast
Yeah.
did a great job as well. Always nice to see like the NACL wrap up their season by like being in the LCS studio. I always really like that touch and getting to see like a lot of different people involved in the broadcast there. So congratulations to Fly. We're gonna see Maryville later on in the CLOL season, obviously. So they're not done just yet before summer split starts. And we'll talk about them maybe in a couple of weeks as we progress throughout the CLOL season. But let's move on to our next headline here, Hawk, where before the finals actually ended up starting, the NACL awards were actually announced. So they had the All Pros get announced before, but then on the broadcast, our good friend Beatdown Boulevard announced Sajed as new rookie of the split, Scary Jerry as most improved player, and of course Yuji of Maryville University as our most valuable prospect. Question to you, Hawk, out of those three, who's the most likely LCS star down the line? Now, of course,
Yeah.
the MVP category for UG is like most LCS wins in the next 2 years. So, like, you could think about it that way, or maybe somebody else who might need a little bit more time to get going.
Yeah. And I feel like, the obvious answer, like you said, is UG because he's the MVP. I mean, honestly, should be in the LCS come summer split, I would hope. I mean, 2025 at the latest, right? This guy, I think, has already been in LCS conversations for a little bit. But it gets interesting when you look at Scary Jerry and Sajed, who I think in many ways are more raw talents. We've seen a bit more from Scary Jerry, but it's been a lot more up and down. Sajed, I mean, he's been playing comp for like like a year and a half, basically. Um, this is a really interesting one, actually. I don't know. I don't Graves, do you have like an answer off the top of your head?
Okay, maybe it's recency bias, but I think I'm gonna go Sajed. On FlyQuest
Wow.
Challengers after winning his first split that he ever played. This guy, the growth that we've seen from him since Lit has been very, very good. I know going to the summer of 2023, we had like some concerns about him. You know, his team fighting is very good, but he's pretty weak in lane, and that is sometimes where he struggles. Obviously, he had Chime to kind of help him out this time, but we saw more flashes of just being good in that early game for Sajed this time around. And I think the growth that he had throughout the split compared to where he was just a year ago is dramatic. If you told me a year ago Sajed would be one of the best ADCs in the NACL, I think, hey, you're kind of crazy for thinking that. But this guy's taken a lot of leaps, and I know we keep drawing these Masu comparisons because he's like the other qualifier ADC that got picked up by FlyQuest and now is on their LCS team. I could see somebody like Sajed having a very similar trajectory, especially if he takes another step, kind of like Masu did from spring to summer before he came pro. So that is going to be my pick right now, which does seem crazy, especially because usually did just win the MVP award, and Jerry
Yeah.
arguably like had a like equally impressive series in the finals. But my answer is gonna be Sajed.
I mean, you drive a hard argument for Sajed. Okay, I'm gonna be boring though. I actually think while you were talking, I decided I think I'm going to pick UG, and the reason is I think Jerry and Sajed are both very, very good, but they're both fairly raw talents, like I said, and I think down the line they could be very successful in the LCS. But I think Jerry in particular, for as good as he was this split, we have seen ups and downs. I think Jerry has still some kinks to work out in his gameplay that like he's gotten better with this split, but they are still present. Um that can get exploited by better teams. I think we kind of saw that in the finals where I think Jerry played fine, but we saw some stuff that like he wasn't able to overcome that I think we've seen in the past, for example, against St. Thomas and CLOL finals as well. And then Sajed to me, I think yeah, there's that Masu comparison, and I think this player's got such a bright future. I do still think Sajed is. I don't know. I'm not sold yet on like LCS caliber talent. I also wasn't with Masu before. I need to see another split. I think for that reason, like Yuji, just to me, you could promote him into the LCS tomorrow. I don't think he'd be the worst jungler, and I think this guy's really good. And I think in particular, a jungler like Yuji could really make their way in the LCS if they have a good team around them. So that will be my immediate answer. But I think Jerry and Sajed, especially if they show me more great stuff in summer, I think very much are in that conversation for let's promote these guys to LCS and let's make it happen.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking like Jerry or for Sajed, like I'm anticipating that leap
Yeah.
because we saw
Yeah,
it
I mean,
from split to
come
split.
come 2025, hell 2026, like I would not surprise me whatsoever.
I think yeah, I think Masu, like I saw Masu's spring and I was like, yeah, this guy's gonna be good. And maybe that's hindsight bias, like looking back at what I actually ended up thinking. But
Nah, most
um
people were pretty. I mean, he was in. I don't know about amongst us, but like people like Colomer had him in their MVP conversation
yeah,
for
I think
spring.
I have pretty high like regards for Sajed as well, especially just what we've seen this split. Maybe like less flashy, but maybe a little bit more consistent could be like the argument that I have for like what we've seen
That's
from Sajed
interesting.
this
I,
split.
I would agree with less flashy. I would also say less consistent though. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I think Sajed, like his team fighting, he's different, man. Like he's like Samikin, you know what I mean? But a better NACL version, right? Where like laning still like got to work on some things, but team fighting is like god tier, right? Um, and I think Sajed has that, and you can't teach that, which would lead me to believe he'll be an LCS talent in the future. I do think we have seen more stinkers from Sajed than we saw from someone like Masu last year, though.
Yeah, that is fair. Not to and again, not to discount Jerry at all. But I think he actually does have a chance
Oh yeah,
to make it if he
I mean,
continues his play right now.
you can go back like 20 episodes on this show, and I said that I think Jerry's gonna be an LCS one day. So like
Yeah.
I've said it before, and I like still believe that. So
Yeah, well, FlyQuest Challengers, Hawk. We're not the only FlyQuest team playing in the LCS studio this weekend. In fact, their parent team, I guess you could say, FlyQuest LCS, just lost in the NACL finals. But you know who they lost to? They lost to Team Liquid Honda, who won the LCS title. And interestingly enough, this was something that was circulating on social media that day. FlyQuest and Team Liquid are the only two LCS teams that have kept their challengers teams this split, and they now are in the finals. Is that proof that these NACL teams are worth it, or is it just coincidental?
I mean, this has to be the easiest, like, shortest yes of our lives, right? Like, yeah. I mean, I know we're biased, but like, I think no one could watch the series that unfolded both in finals and throughout the playoffs with these teams and say no to this question when I think the most key players on each side, with the exception of Inspired, who is not an NACL prospect, were not like the key members of their team. I mean, like Masu had, and by extension Busio, who was not on FlyQuest challengers, but I mean still came out of the academy system, were so pivotal for FlyQuest throughout their run. And I mean, specifically on the side of Team Liquid, APA, a very deserved finals MVP. He played fantastically in all 4 games. Jan was probably the MVP of the entire fucking playoffs. Like, I don't think you can look at that and argue like, no, not having an NACL team is worth it. I mean, like, because these are farm grown players that came out and directly contributed to a title. You know, I know a month ago people wanted to say if TL wins it all, APA is getting carried or whatever, but like, bro just carried the Koreans last weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he played out of his fucking mind.
He played really well. I think specifically in the finals, like he really was able to step up, and I'm very happy for Ian and for the rest of TL, Jan as well. I mean, this guy coming straight from 100 Thieves next, the first biggest, like the first big amateur team, whatever, with Tenacity and Kenvi and all those guys. And he's actually the first one to lift a trophy, even though he might not have been the most hyped out of all the people in there. But man, did he like really look good this playoffs? He took such a
Yeah,
big
man.
jump, and is all part of Team Liquid after leaving 100 Thieves. This is his 4th year in the TL ecosystem, and I think that there is something to that. You know, being a part of the system for a while. Spawn has been his coach
Yeah,
basically for
yeah.
the
You
last
were
4 years,
Add Spawn to the
and
conversation, by the way, of like arguments for having a Challengers League team. That guy
yeah.
is pretty obviously to me like the number one coach right now.
Yeah, the X factors for both of those teams, like the bot lane for FlyQuest and the carries for TL, all academy talent, and I think that is definitely something to think about as well. The other argument on the other side I think you could make is like, yeah, FlyQuest and TL, they're probably the two of the more wealthier organizations in the LCS, and so they can afford having an NACL team. They can also afford to spend more on their roster in LCS, which means that they'll have better players. Cloud9 did that. They also lost. So that is like the other argument on the other side.
But hear me out, Mister Grapes. Is you know, when we get excited about NACL teams, we talk about the right mix of like young talent that's gonna shake things up and like bring a new fresh flavor, and like veterans. And even though FlyQuest, yeah, FlyQuest and Team Liquid probably would not have been successful if they ran 5 rookies. It's almost like pairing your like established veterans with younger talent creates a recipe for success. I mean, dare I say that even carries to the LCS. Like, yeah, you know, you can't go full budget. Probably. I mean, 100 Thieves almost pulled it off, but even they had River, right? Um, like I don't know, just food for thought. Like, I think that's something worth saying is like, yeah, you want that academy team so you can find that 1 or 2 guys that you want to bring up each year to pair with your Whippos, your Impacts, you know, whoever.
Now, I actually don't even know how this would work, but in a world where um, a team in the LCS would want to come back into the NACL because they see all the success that like TL and FlyQuest are
Would
having,
they have to promote?
do you have to promote in? And also, like, is there a team that you think like would be most likely to do it?
No, I don't think anyone would. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, I don't
um,
think so. Like the
I
only
don't think so.
potential
I
answer would be
think
Cloud9 because they have like a lot of money, but also they've been pretty clear like they don't really care
I,
about this.
from what I've heard, Cloud9 were the instigators of wanting to get rid of
Yeah.
Challengers League teams. I mean, maybe 100 Thieves, maybe, but I feel like if it were to happen, it would be when like the inevitable like America's League happens, right? And like, we've got only like four of our NA orgs or whatever, and then we got like Loud and Furia, and like everyone, like the league gets revamped as a whole, and we have a new tier 2 system. That would be kind of like what I would see, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think this is gonna be interesting because also like we can move on right after this. Like we look at players that like should be in the LCS, like Surdy, Shaden, like on FlyQuest. It's like, or they could stay on FlyQuest for another split because they don't get offers because FlyQuest wants to keep them. Like does FlyQuest want to promote them? Do they want to sell them? Like we'll have to see how successful those players are as well. And like I think it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next headline as we've kind of ended our discussion about the NACL, at least for now, as we'll talk about the promotion tournament instead, as that has got underway today or yesterday as you're seeing this video. The first round was a rematch of both qualifier finals. It was Winthrop versus Blue Water, Ole Miss versus CCG, both best of threes, and both went the distance. It was Winthrop taking Blue Water 2-1 after dropping pretty miserably in that first game, and Ole Miss taking a game away from CCG in the first one. However, did not end up holding as CCG were able to bounce back pretty handily. Hawk,
Yeah.
what was the most, I guess, the biggest surprise that we have listed here, but just like what's a moment from this set of games that you like really enjoyed watching?
I mean, dude, I feel so bad for for music for that game 3 against Winthrop. He tried so hard. Also, I haven't fully caught up on the Ole Miss CCG series. I was out like running errands and stuff. So I'll have to like fully catch up on what happened. I know that Bradley went Super Saiyan. I know that Ole Miss took a game, which is so I think huge for that team's like mental. I think to again talk about Winthrop, like narratives that we've been tracking is like Winthrop's mental and like are they chokers basically, right? And I was really worried for them after that first game because I'm gonna be honest, I thought their game plan was fucking garbage. But then they came back games 2 and 3 with a different game plan and it worked, and then I was like happy. So I think that to me, like if you want to talk like biggest surprise or like biggest takeaway was like I hope that series was served simultaneously as a morale booster for Winthrop because they won, but also a wake up call to be like, we we need to like remember what this felt like and replicate this tomorrow against a lit esports that I'm going to say that Winthrop should beat tomorrow.
Yeah, they put Denethor on a carry in game 2 and 3, Renekton and then R. We'll say Denethor, he was getting targeted pretty heavily by
He
the
was.
Rek'Sai top lane in game number 3, and did kind of fall behind a little bit, but he was able to work his way back into the team fights and become useful again. Wasn't able to do so much in game number 1. I want to shout out Lawrence specifically for being able to solo
Yep.
kill Denethor. I think Winthrop's draft plan in game 1 was very ego based, and it's just like we're gonna pick Cassante for Denethor because he's very good at the champion into this blind rumble, and we're just
Yeah.
going to survive and then eventually win. And obviously that
I
did not happen.
I think B1 Rumble caught Winthrop off guard. That's like my hunt. I should message like one of their players or Artemis about that. I'm actually curious because I did not like their response. But
Yeah, I talked to Summer a little
yeah.
bit about it actually, and she said that the response of just like picking like Cassante was more for the comp and more for giving
Mm,
Denethor one of his
mm,
like champion he's comfortable on later, and they just expect him to survive the laning phase. And obviously that didn't happen, and that's
yeah.
when things really start to fall apart.
I mean this in like the most playful way possible. I think the biggest surprise of the first day promotion was not Ole Miss taking a game from CCG because I knew that was going to happen all along. I called it on our last salty runback episode. But it was the fact that Lauren solo killed Denethor twice. that
Yeah, no,
is
that's definitely up
that is
there.
rare.
Also, I've been kind of awakened to the Rek'Sai top lane
Yeah,
movement.
fuck that champ, dude.
Um, that was really horrible to watch for the first 15 minutes of the game.
Denethor
I
couldn't do
felt so
anything.
bad for Denethor.
I mean, he was up
Um,
like 30 CS, but he couldn't like do anything to like remove the Rek'Sai from the lane.
and that's what's like weird about it, because talking about music again, just like on the same note, like the reason I was so confused and kind of felt bad about for music there is that that was like the most anti Blue Water comp we've ever seen, because it was entirely early game focused, and they actually did get things going in the early game. But then like when it came to like the point of the game where they have a little bit of a lead, they wanted to use their good team fighting skills. They just did not have the champions like in the right positions to do that. And I was just confused as to why they went with that game plan in game 3, where like that would actually send you into that matchup against Lit. Because
Yeah.
now Blue Otter is in the losers bracket where they're going to play the loser of CCG versus Mirage, and I think that's a much more
Good luck.
difficult elimination match
Good
on
luck.
Thursday. So that was a big series for them. Congratulations to Winter for pulling it out with that one. And yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about with that Winthrop series? And otherwise, I have a quick point on Ole Miss.
No,
And
no, no, no. Yeah, go for Ole Miss and Blue. Sorry, CCG.
well, yeah, I mean, Ole Miss took a game. Very happy for them. CCG were able to bounce back, of course, but I think the big thing is that we did not just see Shogo have a great game, and he did have a great game on the FLES. It was that everybody else actually contributed a ton. KJ on the Kindred, your Uncle Sam also had a great game on the Azir. And even Stray performing for very, very well, but specifically in the mid jungle, like just seeing that they're able to step up again after having a pretty rough, like grand finals, was a good sign. And I'm hoping that that means good things. They're going to be in the lower bracket. They'll play the loser of Winthrop versus Lit. I think that whoever, that's going to be a very competitive series between whoever ends up down there.
I agree, and I think not only that, I think Ole Miss has a really good shot to beat either of those teams. Um, and I think this is what we've been seeing more and more from Ole Miss is that they're a Shogo Rhino team first, but they are more and more becoming a complete team, and everybody else stepping up to play to the level that they need to. And we see this every time they lose, is they learn more. And I think this is what makes the teams. I'm very excited about this team for the rest of the promotion tournament specifically. I just think narratively, like they are the most interesting team. Everyone's interesting, and I like all these teams, but like I think Ole Miss's story is like it's an underdog story. I think it's fast. It's just incredible. I'm excited.
Well, there are two teams that we did not get to watch today, Hawk, as we can head into our final headline. The NACL bottom feeders. I was trying to think of a better way to say it, but that's kind of what they were. Lit Esports at 9th, Mirage Alliance at 10th. It'll be Lit against Winthrop, and it'll be Mirage Alliance against CCG. I'm gonna throw this question out to you, Hawk. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
we always do this. How many of these NACL teams are gonna survive? How many are gonna stay in, and how
Dude.
many promotion teams are gonna take their spots?
And I really wish we could answer this question like tomorrow after we watch Lit
That's
and
not
Mirage
fun.
play their first series. I know, because I think Mirage in particular, like I've heard this. I think that like the jury's out on this team. Okay, no one knows, but I'm gonna say the goose egg. I don't believe in Mirage. I've already explained why. I think that their team is actually very formidable now. I just like I don't know. I think these promotion teams are too good to try to like hands check with the new roster of just like better players. And I honestly just think Lit's a little doomed. I think I've again talked about this, but it's gonna be close, and that's the real story. I would not be surprised if either of them manages to survive.
Yeah, a big, like I'm pretty sure CCG is gonna make it at this point. Just
Yeah.
they dropped the game, but overall like they seem pretty in control the rest of the series. Like game 2 was a stomp. They won in literally like 21 minutes, and then game 3, they just never lost control against Ole Miss, and that was something that they struggled with in the early game against that team in the past, and it seemed like they really like locked in for the end of that. I think they're gonna make it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Most likely through that winners bracket. Um, Again, it's hard to tell, but I think if you look at the odds, you might if you give like Mirage Alliance a 70% chance, if you give Lit like a 30% chance, you add that up, that's about one. That's probably the answer I'm gonna go for here. Just mathematically speaking.
Math
Um,
is math.
um, I wasn't super impressed by any of the other teams like so far. Like I don't think Winthrop blew me away in this first round to make me think like,
No, they
oh,
didn't.
they're in a
They didn't.
perfect position to promote. I think that they played well, especially like in games 2 and 3. Game 2 specifically, I think they really played well. But there are, still cracks in the gameplay that and maybe the decision making. They still have to adjust to playing on this patch that could result in them falling. And I don't feel super confident in them, even though they're in that upper bracket matchup. And so
Yeah.
I'll say one for now. I don't know what to expect out of Mirage Alliance. I think they're going to be good. They have like very solid players. I think Neo and Saliga are probably two of the best carry players that are here. And Lit always have that Dragoon Kisna magic, which I'm hoping for a little bit. But yeah,
I
I guess mathematically, I'll say one.
math the math is mathing.
Yeah.
I think just to sum it all up, I think very similarly to you, I don't it seemed like you were saying, your opinions didn't change that much based on today's games, and I think I feel similarly. I feel like my opinions did not change that much based on just today's games as far as the promotion teams are the qualifier teams are
Yeah.
concerned. And so you believe more in the NACL teams than me initially, and I just think, yeah, like I think they have a very real chance. I think every team in this tournament would not surprise me if they are playing in Challenge League next year.
Like if
But
I
I think I just believe in the qualifier teams.
if we did this episode last split after day one of the promotion tournament, I would say like, yeah, my opinion's totally changed. I see like
Yeah.
Mirage Alliance are frauds. Lit's
Yep.
gonna make it. All the NACL teams are gonna stay in. And obviously like that ended up being completely wrong at the end of the day
Yep.
because just like things change throughout these very short days of the promotion tournament, which is what makes it so fun. And that's
I
gonna
mean,
do it for our headlines today, unless you had a final
I
thing to
I
close.
was just gonna add a tiny thing. I mean, dare I say, I know obviously the qualification and best of fives are like super exciting, right? But dare I say, like, if you're a fan of like setting expectations and narratives for the rest of the tournament, I would say tomorrow's games might be the most important ones of the tournament because they, I think, are going to tell us so much about the strength of these teams. We've not seen Lit for a month, we've not seen Mirage for a month, and they have a new roster. I think it's gonna like tell us a ton.
Yeah, I agree, and it'll really show us like, are these NACL teams going to be good,
Yeah.
or will it just be all qualifiers like it normally is? Because
So,
I
watch out.
think generally the expectation is that these NACL teams are different than the ones that we have sent down in the past. Like these are some good squads if they are all ready and mentally like completely locked in. So I'm excited about that. Make sure to catch that tomorrow at 7 p.m. over on twitch.tv/LCS Challengers. I'm sorry, today and every day after that until Sunday on the 7th. But that's going to do it for our headlines. Hawk, we're going to do something interesting for our part
Yeah.
2. We'll explain it in just a bit. Did you hear that? Oh
I
no.
heard it.
Hawk, what did we just do? Look
Did
at
we?
the LCS rosters. Oh no. All the imports
Oh,
are gone.
oh my
They're
God.
just gone.
Holy shit, Grapes. What
Did
did
we
you do? Do you,
did we Thanos snap? I
did we
didn't
just
realize I was that powerful. Just my
you
hand
just
like
got
that.
rid of all of them?
I was just trying to go to the next part
Oh
2,
my
and all of
God.
a sudden we have all of the imports from the LCS
Well,
gone.
yeah. Grapes, I guess we're in the new multiverse where in this universe, imports don't exist for whatever reason. And Grapes, we have to figure out what the hell we're gonna do with all these teams.
We got a split to play
We
like in
gotta we
2
gotta
months.
split the play soon in a couple months.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So okay, we got a little bit of time. What's the best plan of action? Do we
Okay.
just like sign some solo queue players? I
I
could
mean,
play maybe a little bit, or
I don't think anyone wants to see that. I'm gonna be real with you, big dog.
oh wait. We have the NACL. We have the NACL players to pull
Oh
from.
shit, dude, wait. I know we forget this all the time, but we have talent in North America.
Wow. Okay.
Holy
Okay.
shit, that's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. This is gonna be a fun thought experiment.
Yeah.
Our part 2. We are gonna create a situation where imports are not allowed in the LCS. Now, obviously, you're gonna see people like Core JJ in here. Impact. Like, if you are a resident in North America, you're still in. But like, we're gonna create a world where it is just NA players in the LCS in the LCS, and basically, this is just our way of highlighting some people that we think deserve a shot in the LCS for next split. And obviously, we're kind of artificially creating that, but in that sense, like, this is a way to like highlight some people and also kind of try to match playstyle for playstyle.
Yeah. It's a fun hypothetical. It's a thought experiment, but we thought it'd be interesting because Grapes, not well, maybe we'll get to the part 2 of the part 2 in a little bit, but yeah, it's not just LCS that's of course going to be affected by these lost souls. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to count right now. There's 10 total imports, which honestly is not
it's
is
not as
less
many as
than
we
I
thought.
thought there
Yeah.
was going to be. And we're going to try to fill in each of their spots with different players from the NACL/qualifiers. And then any of those players that get filled in, we got to fill their NACL spots as well because they're going to be gone. So we're going to start off here with the LCS, fill in these players, and then try to find the best fit for each of them, and then go on from there.
Grapes, I just noticed, by the way. So there's only NA supports. So sorry, supports. No
Yeah.
movement for you guys. But we have multiple in every other role. So that's cool.
All right,
Sorry,
yeah.
supports.
So I'm interested. How do we want to attack this? Because we're kind of
I
like
mean,
armchair GMing together. Do we just want to go team by team?
yeah, we could go team by team, or we could go role by role.
Let's go
Cause
team by team. Because I
okay, team
think
by team.
because if we go team by team, we can like identify like some things that they're
Yeah,
going to be missing with the players that are gone,
right.
and then try to fill in
I'm down with
what is
this. I'm down
necessary
with
there.
this. Um, okay. Are we just gonna start with like 100 Thieves, or do we want to start
Yeah.
with a certain team
Let,
here? Okay.
let's start 100 Thieves because
All right. Let's
honestly, I
start with
think
yeah,
they're
yeah. Let's do
very
it.
interesting. So 100
I think they
Thieves
are too.
in this hypothetical situation honestly might get hurt the most. They lose their MVP and their runner-up for MVP basically, included River in the mid jungle, who honestly had a great split for them. I would consider River at least right now to be like an NA player for all he's done for our region at this point. But now, fortunately, does count as an import, so we're gonna have to fill in somebody in that spot. Who is like the River and Quid of the NACL? I have a suggestion here, and I think it's pretty obvious to me. But like, what do you think?
I well, I mean, I feel like yeah, the suggest it's pretty because I feel like to me like River and Quid is like you need leadership and mechanics, right? You need like an electrifying mid jungle because I think Sniper had an awesome debut split. Mish and Ayla, it was a little up and down. I think like you need to just pair them with people that like can be really consistent, really solid for this team and can survive against the likes of say Inspired and Jensen, who by the way are protected. So, yeah, Grapes, hit me with your suggestion off the bat.
Well, we just saw them a couple days ago perform. I'm gonna go with UG Spyrex,
Yeah,
Maryville University. I think that
I
makes a
was
lot of
with you.
sense
Yeah,
because
I'm with you
in
too.
a way, like UG and Spyrex, they're kind of like the like the River and Quid of NACL almost. Or they're just like the prototype. If you need like a mid jungle, that's kind of like the mid jungle you think of in your head. Like these guys have been playing together for a while. There's gonna be that pre-existing synergy. Um, Not that River and Quid had any pre-existing synergy, but they both spoke Korean to each other and they both like had that like cultural relationship. So I think that kind of matches a little bit. And as you said, leadership plus mechanics, these guys both have that.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is the only mid jungle that we have to replace, and this is by far the best mid jungle that's available to us because Grapes, there's actually two import mids that we can't use from the NACL either, which is Quad and Roamer. So you would have to take Shaden in a mid laner he doesn't play with, and then you would have to take Keel in a mid laner he doesn't play with. So, like, the other option would maybe be there's an argument for Kenvy's Shochi, I think, but UG Spyrax does feel like the choice to me, Grapes.
Yep, I think that that's a pretty good fit.
Yeah.
And maybe 100 Thieves would be a little worse to start off, as they'd have like 5 academy or ex academy players coming in straight in.
But how hype would that
Um,
be?
it would be pretty
Bro,
hype.
everyone thought they'd be eighth this split too, and look what happened. So, I mean,
That is true. All right. This next one is also pretty difficult. Cloud9, maybe the one position that like people aren't calling for the head of right now is now gone in Berserker.
yeah. I mean, I feel like Blabber Jojo, I feel like are pretty safe too. But yeah, Berserker, Mechanical God. I'm not gonna lie. Grapes, why
What do you mean
not
mechanical
replace
god?
one Mechanical God with another? There's two options here, I feel like, okay? You could either get like the unproven guy to just try to be like the next Berserker and develop alongside these four vets, or you get the slightly more proven guy that is like known to be super mechanical and has been on like mid-tier teams his entire career, but a really strong point on those mid-tier teams. I think a fun part of this game is seeing if you're picking up what I'm putting down as I say this.
Yeah, so you're thinking either Sajet or Scary Jerry or
I was thinking
Neo.
Sejet or Lens. I
Oh.
was thinking Lens.
Lens would be an interesting option here. Okay, so Berserker, he plays a lot of different play styles, and I think the big thing that like I've kind of thought about him is that like he's okay with like not being the main carry. Like he doesn't have to be the main
Yeah,
character every
that's
game.
true.
And so I think someone like Sajed could fit there pretty well. It would be pretty new. The C9 subreddit would be all over him for the first couple of weeks, I'm sure. Um, okay. I think those two are good options. I think Neo could be like a nice like fill in if you need like a stopgap, but
Yeah.
that's not
But
gonna like
Cloud9
take
doesn't
you.
feel like they'd take a Neo to
That's not
me.
gonna yeah. Neo's not gonna take you to the ceiling that like
Yeah.
you need. I would say. So I think
I could see Shopify taking back Neo, I feel like. You know what I mean? But
just to go
I
rerun it back with them.
yeah. I I mean, okay, I think Jerry's also definitely in the conversation. I shouldn't do my boy Jerry like that. So do we want Jerry, Lens, or Sajed, which I think was literally just my
You're
my
all.
all pro ballot. No, that's a lie. I didn't put Sajed on mine, but yeah.
I think I think we go to Jed. It's a little. It's hype. It's the hype. You
Okay,
just
it's
gotta.
hype. It's hype. Sure,
And
sure,
also,
sure. Yeah.
if you think about it, like Berserker was an unproven quote unquote rookie when he came in and he started playing really well. Who says Sajed can't do the same thing on Cloud9?
This is true. This is true. Okay, let's go. Let's go Sajed. I think that's cool. I think Sajed, like Cloud9 is an org, even though they don't have their Challengers League team anymore. They do have a track record of taking risks on players, so I could see them doing it with Sajed. I think I could see them doing it with Lens or Jerry as well. But Grapes, maybe we can move on to Dignitas now. We're missing our solo lanes, and again,
This
we
is
don't have access to Spyrax already.
yeah. This is kind of interesting. Mid lane, I'm very very curious about, but I do have a pretty. I do have an answer for the top side. I
I mean,
think
hit me, yeah.
I think Surdy should be here, and maybe call us out for just picking
Ooh.
all of the good like players and everything. But Rich is somebody who is very good in lane and was able to like be a main carry for his team. I think Surdy can do that pretty
Would
similarly and fill that gap in pretty nicely.
Now here's the question: would FlyQuest not want Surdy more to replace Whippo?
Oh, I mean, I guess that's true, but also like I wasn't even thinking that way honestly. But like,
I mean, I
is
don't
that?
know. Like, you see that's where it's like I don't know how we're gonna do this. You know what I mean?
I think
Like
let's go purely off of fit instead of
off
like
of right. Okay.
trying to like associate with the teams that are there. So
Right.
Keel
Right.
doesn't
Right.
necessarily have to go to TL either. But that my vote would be
Okay.
Surdy here, just because you need like a strong carry top laner. I think there's anyone more reliable right now,
Yeah.
other than maybe Tenacity.
I feel like if you were to make Dignitas stronger, you would definitely need Surdy because again, I think Tomo and Isles are decent, but they're not gonna win you like every game. And we've seen how aggressive XU is and willing to play for lane. So okay, so let's put Surdy there, and then I think mid lane is really tricky because
Okay, yeah.
we have to
I
replace
don't know.
3 mids and we only have access to 8 of ours, and I think a few of them are not necessarily LCS caliber grapes. So this is an interesting question. Like I don't know. I know Young didn't have a great split, but is this the team that takes a flyer on Young? Because
So they're not gonna
to
do that
me,
good.
I'm putting Shochi on Immortals.
Oh, why? Is it a little revenge arc back with Immortals AoE? Is that what you're thinking?
Well,
Or
no, not really. I mean, I'm putting Shochi on Immortals because I guess the way I see it, I think Tactical and Ole are a little bit more of like a we're gonna try to stomp your face bottom lane, which I think Shochi would work better with, as opposed to him needing to be more of like a game in game out carry.
yeah, I also think
Young, I think
Mask
is
was also less of the like hard carry variety, and I think that's something that Shochi, that's a role that Shochi could fill pretty
is
nicely.
able to like because Shochi he's the Swiss Army knife. He can
Yeah.
carry, but he's not. He just doesn't necessarily game in game out. Like I almost wonder like I mean because it's like Young or like I mean Saligo or Toasty. Do you want to take a flyer on Toasty?
Okay, what do we need here from Dignitas? I think Dove is like, okay, this roster right now. I think they need like another solid carry,
They need a
and
carry
honestly,
for
like
sure.
that is maybe even sending me towards Saligo, who's not even in the NACL split, just because I think he's somebody that we could rely on a little bit.
Yeah, and also like could be a veteran presence for the team
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like XU Tomo and Isles. I mean Isles is a veteran, but Tomo and Isles a little bit
You know
newer
what
to
this reminds me of?
LCS.
This reminds me of like when Dig brought in Yasui for like that split.
Right? Yeah.
This would
Oh my
literally just
god.
be what would happen again.
I'm down with Saligo though. I think if Young had a
It's
slightly
just
better split in spring, I think it would be him. Young's the 6 man. Young's the 6 man for this team.
and like
I
Young's
think.
playstyle, I don't think matches what like Dove and what Dig would like need,
I would
right?
agree.
Like
But
they don't need like an
dude,
Akali assassin
imagine
player.
Young XU'd Surdy topside though. Like how like 1v9 or lose at 15 is that? Like,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'm down with this. Young 6 man.
All right, we're
Okay.
making good progress here. Let's go to
We're making good
FlyQuest.
progress.
Whippo,
FlyQuest.
great leader, plays the randomest shit in the top lane. Um,
It's
what do
Philip.
you think? You think it's Philip? I think it's Jenkins.
Or Jenkins. Or yeah, I mean I was just when I thought of plays the randomest shit, Philip was who came to mind for me.
Dude, Jenkins plays Warwick fucking top lane.
That's true. That's true. He does have that dog in him.
He got
I'm
that
down with
dog.
Jenkins. I'm down with Jenkins to FlyQuest.
Either him or Zamudo, because he would just talk about cooking like that guy. That guy was like,
Zamudo is a crazy
either
pick,
1v9 or
honestly.
Grief, like that that matches
This is
him right
true.
there.
Zamudo would blind pick Urgot in game 1 of the LCS final. Maybe it is Zamudo, bro. But
I
like,
think in terms of leadership and the experience,
yeah.
Jenkins was feeling a little nicer.
Also, in terms of like who should promote into the LCS, I unfortunately do not think it's Zamudo for the split.
Yep,
For
I agree.
as much as I like Zamudo,
All right, you want Jenkins?
I'm down. Is
FlyQuest,
there an
Jenkins.
argument for tenacity here, or Faisal,
I think
does Immortals get Faisal?
I think there's an argument for tenacity. I don't know if there's an argument towards Faisal.
I feel like I feel like for Immortals, can we just put Faisal, Shochi, reunite those guys again? And I feel like that team is cooking. No,
Unless we want tenacity on Immortals, which I could also totally see.
I could get behind that as well. Yeah, but I mean, I think Faisal had a better split than tenacity this past.
Yeah, but
split.
sometimes it's not just about who had the better like individual.
This is true. This is true. I mean, shoot, dude. If we're being GMs,
like
we gotta
that.
think about the players that are gonna have good branding. Tenacity.
Yeah.
He's got stomps
mean,
in that department.
Not gonna lie, Immortals, y'all don't have much branding. Get that
This is
hot guy
true.
tenacity down there.
They've been trying. Hey,
do some
shout
do
out
some model picks out there.
Shout out Reba and Charlie. They've been trying really hard. But yeah, I would agree. Oh, dude, wait. Okay, in that case, tenacity, Shochi joining that team. What some fucking memers right there, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put
Okay.
tenacity. Let's put tenacity on my IMT.
Okay.
Faisal, I hate to do it to you, but you might have to
Okay.
go to you might have to go next.
Grapes, are we being bad LCS GMs by just promoting the guys that have already played an LCS before? Saligo, Jenkins, Tenacity.
Maybe
That, like,
a
we
little
get tired.
Maybe a little bit.
But
However,
this is like what would happen. Like
okay, we have 3 more spots
Oh.
to fill. Maybe we can
Okay,
try
yeah.
maybe we can try to kill that narrative here.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need a jungler for Team Liquid. Now, like Shaden like jumps off the board as being somebody. Kenvi also as well. But Umpty was kind of like correct me if I'm wrong. He was kind of like a dog jungler for TL a little bit. Like he like
A little bit, dude.
and
What about like Winnie on this team?
no, I was gonna say well, I was gonna say Perry, but Perry just announced his retirement.
Perry is retiring.
Um,
Yeah,
we love you, Perry, if you're watching
We
for
do love
whatever
you,
reason.
Perry. Yeah.
So I guess like
Or
we could
like-
stick him there, or Chad.
I was thinking Chad, but Chad's not really a dog jungler though. But like,
You know who could go here? Like I know we said like we don't have to fill people in, from the same team, but I think if Keel was on this team,
this is
crazily
true.
enough,
Yeah,
it actually
'cause,
would
like,
work because this guy plays so many
realistically,
different play styles.
I want to just put out there, like, realistically, if we're the GM, if we're Dodo or Papa Smithy for FlyQuest or Team Liquid, we are not letting go of Surdy and Keel from our rosters in this hypothetical scenario. Like, right? So, Surdy would replace Whippo, and then Keel would definitely go in place of Umti here. I mean, I think Keel would work. I honestly think this one comes down
He
to
also, like he has this like other like pocket picks and stuff that he'll play. Like
Yeah.
Keel has like the Belveth, he has the
yeah.
Karthus.
I don't think it's Kenvi. I don't think it's Kenvi. I think it's
Yeah.
either like if we wanted to go like the Shaden, I think it's like Shaden or Keel. I think that's it.
I don't think Shaden does well on this team. Shaden and APA, bro, they'd be so toxic.
This might be true.
Okay,
it's Keel.
Wait, they would kill each other.
Would Keel and APA not hate each other?
Maybe. I mean,
Yo,
they're
either
in the
of you
same.
guys are watching this show, like, let us know.
They're in the same organization right now, so they might.
But,
they
like,
must like cross paths at least a little bit.
I mean, do they? I don't know. I I imagine them playing like in-house scrims and they're shit talking each other in all chat. I'm
Okay.
down to put Keel. I'm down to put Keel.
All right, I'm down as well. I think. I mean, like
Damn,
I feel
are
like
we
a
gonna
lot
do
of.
it? Are we gonna do it to Kenvi though? Because I think Kenvi and Faisal are both gonna be teamless after this.
That's okay. I mean, we could stick Kenvi here because Boogie's more of like a carry jungler for Shopify. Is that if I'm not mistaken,
I-
right? So
Are we doing it to Shaden?
I don't know. It's a tough question.
I, well, who's our AD carry?
Okay,
Lens?
you wanna hear my hot take?
Okay, what's your hot take?
Our AD carry for Shopify is Shogo.
Bro.
This team needs like a 1v9 carry like B-Boy was this split for them. And I think this is the one team. Immortals also could be one of them. Where like if you stick Shogo here, like he actually could do good. I think if you stick Shogo on like a better, like a different team that has like more mouths to feed, someone like Cloud9 or FlyQuest doesn't do as well.
I
This guy spent
think
his whole life being like the primary, give me all the resources carry. Shopify, I think, is a team that could allow that to happen. And maybe we're
you
glazed in a
know
little bit, but that's my answer.
remember that like old like thing of like on Fnatic how Reckless and Broxa supposedly got in a fist fight? I think if Shogo went to Cloud9, that would actually happen between him and Fudge. Dude,
Yeah.
Shogo with Zazel, like that's like ultimate chiller with like not chiller at all. Like that is like type A, like fucking 1v9, give me the ball with like, yo, it's cool, man. Like we got this. Like
All
I'm
right. Well,
I'm here
who's
for it.
that's my vote.
That's
Who's
crazy. That's
replacing
crazy. That's crazy. I'm here for it. And
who's
then
replacing Boogie?
I mean,
Who are we picking? We gotta pick one. We
is
gotta
it
pick
so it's
one.
Kenvi or Shaden, right? It's Kenvi or
I think
Shaden.
so. I think so. I think so.
Or do we need more chiller with Chad? I don't
Okay,
think it's
now
Chad.
this is
I don't
interesting because if Shogo is on the team, then I don't necessarily want someone like Shaden, who would like want more resources and stuff.
I
But
think I
Shaden's
would
honestly
rather,
been
but
playing.
as far as resource dependency, I would rather have Shaden than Kenvi.
Yeah, I think Shaden here would
Okay,
actually
okay,
work.
okay, okay.
Another instance of like they might kill each other, but we'll see. Hey, Surdy and Shaden have been on the same team and they've been fine.
This is true,
I think
dude.
Shogo would
Which,
not be an
for the
issue here.
record, Surdy loves Shaden. So, you know, like
I
Surdy
have faith.
literally. Shout out Surdy, by the way, if you're watching. I got the chance to chat to Surdy in the parking lot like after the series, and dude was like, "Dude, my teammates are so fucking good." He literally would like spend 5 minutes telling me how good Shaden is, and like, so shout out Surdy. It was really cool. Like, bro thinks his teammates are cracked.
Would be inclined to agree. Not gonna lie.
I
So
his teammates are pretty good.
yeah.
You know,
All right. Well, let's now that we have filled in our LCS spots with some NACL players. Fortunately, that means the NACL Hawk is a little decimated. We could switch on over to
yeah.
there right now. Yikes! All the FlyQuest is gone. Sorry,
Oh no!
Chime.
Wow, yeah, we just boomed the roster. Holy shit! TL's looking a little sparse too. Okay, dude. Oh my god, Mirage has to pick up their third mid laner in a month.
We go back to RJS.
No. Sorry, did I answer that too quickly? I don't know.
No, I think you answered perfectly quickly enough. Okay.
Yo,
Uh,
wait. This is the easiest. I'm just gonna write him.
don't.
Right?
Oh,
He's because I unless we think that Salmon and Music are a package deal to go to Maryville.
no, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Let's just put him there. Imagine Samikin gets to learn from Dardoch. I don't know if that's a good thing, but
Samik is such a nice kid. He'll be
Samikin
fine.
is a
He'll be
really
fine.
nice
He'll
kid.
survive.
Yeah,
He'll
he'll be
survive.
okay.
But if the team mental booms, I would feel so bad for him.
That would be really unfortunate. I mean, wait, who else can we put here? Who else can we put here? Like, because here's the question we should ask immediately. I guess we already broke up one of the collegiate teams by putting Shogo in the fucking LCS. Like, are we comfortable breaking up Winthrop here?
Yeah, I think so. Like
Okay.
this is like because I
This is
think
yeah.
in another situation, like if Mobility or Denethor got an NACL offer, like they would take it.
Because I think the other option here, I mean, there's Bradley and there's Sword. Unfortunately, Marty, I don't think it's this split, but I think Bradley and Sword
Robbie
are
Bob.
like, yeah, Robbie. I mean, we actually have to put 4 mid laners here.
That's true, actually.
Um, so it kind of just like is who goes where, I think is the question. Now, if we want to get really technical with Maryville, we got to get guys that are still in college.
Okay, watch this. Lotus, mid jungle, Auto Orange, and Robbie Bob for me.
For Maryville, we just put Auto Orange is already a sub. Okay, yeah, put them there. We get
And then
we get
the
Robbie.
ultimate Kevin Durant moves to the Warriors
Yeah.
situation where Robbie leaves UST and goes to MU.
goes to MU. Yeah, I like that one. That's funny. That's funny. Okay.
Because Auto Orange is already there. He doesn't got to move. He just
Yeah.
chills. He's a chiller.
Yeah. If I'm Clerky, I mean, I'm promoting Auto Orange. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then so the question is, do we put Samakin? So we have Sword, Bradley, and Samakin that we theoretically want to place. Who goes where? Does Bradley go back to Team Liquid?
Oh fuck! Wait, that's
Does
good.
he go back? We're keeping Bradley as a mid laner, right?
Yeah. Okay, here's my take. I think Samakin goes to FlyQuest because I think a team like Fly would be able to take somebody like him and turn him
like
into
that.
somebody really good. They have a very good track record of like taking prospects and making them look really nice.
Am I crazy for this?
No, that team would do pretty well, I think.
Like, I actually think that makes that team so good.
It does make the team really good. It also would take Bradley away from TL, which I feel a little bit bad about. But also, like, we're gonna have to relegate someone to Mirage, and I think Bradley makes more sense than Sword.
I agree. I think Bradley makes sense here. Let's put Bradley on Mirage. So
this is a team that could actually. This is a team that could be top 4 in ACL. I think.
I agree. He's switching teams for tomorrow, Grapes. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're playing against him.
Or for today.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want to like fill out Team Liquid? Do we want to go to Disguised?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me. What do I see here?
Here's a thought. Team Liquid could just take the Winthrop topside. They could just take Denethor, Wokow, Sword, Spawn, Kim down.
That'd be pretty hype.
It's pretty hype. Honestly, I feel like that's a really similar team to what Winthrop already has. Like, I honestly probably hold Spawn and Kim down in fairly similar, maybe slightly higher regard to what I hold Mobility and Chookies.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. I think that makes sense. It's not necessarily something I would see TL doing. Maybe there's not enough experience here, but Sword is a little bit of experience actually. So you'll have some prospects coming in, some older people coming in, which I think is something that I want to keep in mind specifically when we look at this FlyQuest team that we got to rebuild. Because Samakin is a prospect that's coming, but we need to replicate some of the experience that they have on this team to like try to keep them at a similar level of success.
Okay. I might have it. For Fly. Are you ready for this? Okay.
I have one suggestion. I think Kryra should be here.
I was gonna say Kryra. Okay. Good. Yeah. This is like the rookie mid jungle, right? And then we got to go veterans and 80 carry and top.
Yep.
Okay. So who do we have? We have like Stray or like Crimson. Probably not. If we go down the tier list, I mean, we're looking at guys like.
I'm trying to even remember who's on some of these teams.
Like Porsche, probably not. I mean, Lawrence.
It's interesting because like these people we consider veterans in tier 3 like would be in NACL.
Yeah, I know.
Like newer pieces.
Is it Stray?
I think that would actually make sense. He's very solid in the top lane. He'd be able to survive. We have to make a full qualifier team basically out of FlyQuest because we kicked all their players.
I feel like I think it's not Crimson. I think it's not Porsche. I think it's not I think the other option is Lawrence, right? Because I'm trying to think of other top laners.
I think Stray makes sense here, and I think
it's not Shocky.
I think Crimson goes to DSG.
To DSG. Also, Grapes, do we need to replace Perry because he's retiring? Or
no. Because we don't know what everyone else is doing here either. So technically, like a lot could change.
Right. Yeah.
We're just filling in the spots that we left. Crimson and Tenacity. kind of similar and like hyped up prospects that like
Yeah.
Crimson specifically, like Sniper's brother, like it still adds to that content narrative. So I think that would be pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
We just need an experienced AD carry. Like mobility would be a nice fit here, but also is he as experienced, or maybe do we want someone like Lynx instead?
I was honestly thinking Lynx, but I don't want to do mobility like that. But I mean, we can only take one AD, and I feel
It's
like
just like fit wise, I think that would work better. I
yeah.
think mobility would probably have a better chance on a different team, but
And
there's
I
no
wonder
spots open.
too, especially with Stray playing top lane, like mobility might be too many cooks in the kitchen. Because Kryra can be a huge carry jungler. But he can play both, right? But like I think because I think the question really comes down to out of Kryra, Salmon and mobility, which two do we want to promote the most? And I do think the way I feel right now is I think Kryra and Samakin. I think all three of them should probably be in NACL next split. But like I think Kryra and Samakin, I will go to war if they're not in NACL next split. You know what I mean? Like, and that's aside, by the way, from this whole hypothetical. That's just like in general, I will go to war if these two players are not in the NACL next split. I think.
All right, I think Lynx makes sense in terms of fit.
Yeah,
And also there's
I'm down with
less
that.
like mid laners and junglers right now that I think would fit that veteran mindset, especially now that Odd Orange is off the table here.
Yeah.
That would make sense in this situation. And
Dude,
so
the Odd Orange Robbie mid jungle from Maryville is so funny to me. That's like dark shit, dude. Like, what is that?
I can picture I can picture the I'm coming home.
The memes, yeah, the memes there, dude. Like that would be some bad blood. Like, imagine UST Maryville meet each other in CLOL finals the following year. Like, that's a grudge
Dude,
match.
it's literally Robbie, but it's literally KD going to the Warriors. Like there's no
Yeah,
other, there's no
that's
other way to put it.
that's so good, dude.
Well,
I'm pretty happy with this.
an interesting thought experiment, but I think it goes to show that there's a lot of different people that could be promoted into both the LCS and the NACL, and all for different reasons.
Yeah,
And there's still other people that we left off that probably deserve to be in here as well.
I agree. Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Because like I mean we kind of just did it because this is definitely like the way it shook out grapes. We did not necessarily just take the players that we think are the best, right?
Yeah,
We were
no, we
definitely
didn't.
trying to like fit the pieces together. And I like it would be so interesting, you know, as a GM, like if you were faced with this situation, and especially like we had the unique rule of we have to keep everybody else, right? So it was trying to fit, you know, a square peg into a square hole. We couldn't change the shape of the hole, right? So it's interesting.
Yeah, I've realized I don't want this to happen in the LCS. I think
I
having
don't
imports
want
is
this to
good.
happen either. Yeah.
Now I'm realizing, hey, maybe
I
imports are not a bad thing because our league
I
would be a little bit
want
worse. But
NA
um,
talent to get a shot. However, I definitely I mean, there are many import, you know, for as many stupid imports as we've had, like you said, like River is a guy that I'm starting to hold in the same regard as like Core JJ, you know what I mean? Like these guys that have come here and made the region better. And so yeah, I'm with you, Grapes. I mean, Berserker, another one, right? Like there are some great import players here.
yeah,
And this is definitely this like we said, this is a thought experiment. So this is no way to discount their contributions. This is just a fun way to be like, oh, like here's how NA talent can shake out. Grapes, I do think that the thing I can leave us with to wrap it up is, you know, I hope you know, we see some talent like UG, like Spyrax, like Surdy get their shot at the next level. And coming into the NACL as well, guys like Kryra, Samakin, Denethor, Bradley back, right? Like I want to see them performing at the Challengers League level. Guys like Mobility as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
dude, I would be the biggest 100 Thieves fan if this ended up happening. Usually Spyrax plus like Sniper and Meech and Ayla. My God,
That's pretty hype. That's actually
yeah,
really hype.
it was that if that was an LCS team, sign me the fuck up for that. But yeah,
Dude,
that
Cloud9 with Sajed, like, holy shit, how hype is that, too? The Shogo Shaden shop.
it's getting too
um,
late. We gotta wrap the
yeah,
episode
we
up.
got
Thank you all for
let's
watching. Make sure to
uh
keep staying tuned to the promotion tournament that's gonna happen every day at 7 p.m. for the rest of this week. We'll be back next week to recap everything. Probably have an interview with somebody who ended up being in the NACL. That should be a lot of fun. And make sure to stay tuned to CLOL Central as well, because that Saturday is going to be very interesting. We'll go live at 3 p.m. for Northwood versus SLU. And after that, you'll be able to watch that qualifier best of 5, the second to last series of the NACL promotion tournament. So a big day this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, it's gonna be so good, y'all. And hey, if you like me and Grapes, you should watch Challengers League today, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific for Mirage Alliance versus CCG and Liddy Sports against Winthrop University, so that you can see myself and Mr. Lennon Mazel White casting the series. And if you like Grapes, you should watch on Thursday, because Grapes is gonna cast what, losers bracket round 1?
Yeah, the 2 elimination. We're going to be saying goodbye to some teams.
We're gonna be saying goodbye. Is that a best of 5 or are those best of 3s?
Those are both best of 3s. We get to
Best
best
of
of
3s.
5
Okay.
after that. Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, watch Grapes in that series, those 2 series as well, because he's gonna be casting with B-Town?
Cubby, actually.
Cubby. With
Yeah.
Cubby. So that's gonna be a good time. Grapes, we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's great to be back covering our qualifier teams, at least for a couple days of the promotion tournament. Make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you watch the shit. Make sure that if you think that Shogo shouldn't be in the LCS, you should take this with a grain of salt. I'm gonna get a DM from Collimer about this, bro. I've been Hog. That's been Grapes.